Right then, so it finishes Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 0. Villa failed to succeed into the 5th round and will have to play another replay against Chelsea, this time at Villa Park. But ultimately tonight, it was not to be on their first go-round. Now, I'm doing this video a little bit later just because I've eaten. I've also had a bit of time to think about what I wanted to say, because overall for tonight, I don't really think there's much to talk about in the sense of, you know, the result reflects probably the performance. Very underwhelming, and ultimately nothing really to show for it tonight. I'm going to be really honest, I totally didn't even realise Villa were playing tonight. It was one of those games that completely came up at the last minute for me when I totally remembered that. Oh, hey, Villa are meant to be playing Chelsea in the FA Cup. Looked on it, because I thought we were playing Newcastle Tuesday, which we still are. I thought that was our next game, and I've completely forgotten about this game. And it almost kind of feels like Villa forgot about it as well, judging by the performance, you know. 0-0 away at Stamford Bridge, where the last 2 times we've managed to eke out wins. And I've seen it on Twitter, and it's kind of how I'm reflecting upon this game tonight. The creativity and that spark that we have just seems to have almost vanished away. You know, and let's bear this in mind, it's the January transfer window as well, and the only player we've signed is some young right-back that's, you know, for me personally, was a sign that, you know, didn't need to be made. You know, we needed a right back, and ultimately we've kind of got one in the sense of Kane Kesler-Hayden being called back, but that is only a short-term option for the next few months until the summer, because he's going to get sold. You know, we're bringing in cover there for him and Cash, and yet we're signing this guy from Red Star Belgrade. No one's heard of him. I know he's meant to be apparently one of these, you know, talented players from their academy, but this is a player for the future. And even then, we've done this before. Frederick Gilbert, we signed him in thinking that he was going to be this player that was going to blossom into our first team. You know, and after that first few initial run in the first season in the Premier League for us, you know, his career just never was the same. And that's what I'm getting from this. It's like we're signing a player that, for me, I just don't ever really end up going to see. I feel like I'm going to see him playing the Villa first team, but, you know, that's something to see in the future. It's the window like this that would have really helped for teams to refresh and reinvigorate their, you know, chance for a good push in the end. Excuse me. And try and actually get themselves back onto the target that they want to. And for Villa, obviously, it's to try and secure a top 6 finish, ideally top 4, a top 4 finish in the Premier League. And, you know, we've had absolutely nothing. The only real concrete thing that's come from this window has been Morgan Rogers. Now, in fairness, he did look quite impressive against Chelsea the other night, scoring the goal. And obviously, overall, it would be a good signing for Villa to go and get. But again, it's somebody that's for the future. You know, there are plenty of positions that we need strengthening, and we need another striker, especially with all this John Duran talk. We especially need something in that midfield, just something to reinvigorate us, because the injuries are seriously now affecting Villa. And, you know, even though it's a fairly decent, strong team that was put out tonight, nothing was really created. The only opportunity that we had was a disallowed goal, unfortunately for a handball on Douglas Luiz, but had that been any other way, then perhaps we would have been coming out here tonight with a different result. But ultimately, just nothing really clear-cut. Chelsea were much more dominant than us in the first half. They were really pressing at us highly. And then second half, we kind of grew into it. You could see that we're starting to find our rhythm, starting to find those passes, getting a lot more corners and set-piece opportunities that, you know, as I was saying on commentary, you get one touch on it, you're going to be talking yourself as a hero. But unfortunately, we're not saying that. We're saying, you know, it's such a missed opportunity tonight. And I do think Chelsea were there for the taking. But I also think if we're talking from a Chelsea fan's perspective, we were massively there for the taking as well. So I think overall, really, in a sense, it was kind of a very even game, very toughly contested game. Defensively, both teams really showed out tonight what they could do when they really put the pressure on and really want to stay resilient and keep in their shape. You know, Petrovic and Emi Martinez had both great games, especially Petrovic. Well, I think he had some amazing saves from him. But like I said, not really breaking them down. And, you know, you're not coming out of here thinking we've reflected on should have won the game. I know it's easy to look at that disallowed goal, but if it's a handball, it's a handball. You know, more shots on target and shots overall than Chelsea, but yet they're dominating the possession. They're getting more passes off, and it just seems like at times we couldn't really, you know, we'd have the ball, but we didn't want to keep it for a few seconds to actually establish some sort of foundation and stability within the pacing of the game. Instead, we're trying to, you know, just go straight for it, but we're easily losing possession. and ultimately we're not getting anywhere and not really achieving anything results-wise. So it ends in a draw. But yeah, it's like I said, Villa will be playing a replay against Chelsea at Villa Park this time, so hopefully Villa can do the job at home. You know, because yeah, we've been much better at home. We're much better at home. It would have been nice to win again at Stamford Bridge. You know, like I said, past 2 times we've done it, but maybe just not tonight. It also probably would have been a little bit killer had we had to go to an extra time, perhaps. So that's you got to think fitness-wise for Tuesday wouldn't have been the best, but I think ultimately probably the priority has been our focus to Tuesday, and that's where Villa should be going. At home to a Newcastle side that are, quite frankly, not in the mud right now, but are very seriously looking like a shadow of themselves at the start of the season when we played them away. You know, the idea of selling players, the idea that the key players, Michael Almiron, Kieran Trippier getting moved on, the idea that they're going to have to sell players because of FFP, you know, and then performance-wise as well, on the pitch, results perhaps not going in the best of ways. It's a really good opportunity to take advantage of this and really capitalise on. Similar with the Man City game when we played them at home earlier. You know, we're probably we're going to catch them at their best point right now. It's to get the 3 points, grind it out at home, keep a good foundation when you're playing at home, and secure a result there. So yeah, that'll be the focus there. But ultimately, I'm very lacklustre, quite frankly. Shallow, 90 minutes of football to watch. But let me know in the thoughts down below what you think. What do you think is going to be going ahead regarding to Tuesday? And do you think Villa are ultimately going to be making some signings? I hope at least, because there was also talk that Jonathan Rowe is still in interest. As long as one of those signings is over the line, I'm more than happy. Donker's gone out the way as well to Napoli. So that hopefully could mean the interest, say, for Rodgers or just someone else. Or even someone else. And additionally, could be there. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see up today. But keep it tuned for the channel for any updates for that. But otherwise, I've been Ben, and we'll see you for that Newcastle game.